Hey guys, welcome back to the Espresso Outlet YouTube channel. This is a long overdue video that I've been really excited to do. And in front of us today, we have our lineup from the brand called Corrima. So we went ahead and we did give these machines just a more standardized name. The Corrima manufacturer, they utilize some letters and numbers. So today I want to introduce to you these three machines that we brought to Espresso Outlet. The first one we have been calling the Turin Sonata. It is currently on our website for $349. The middle one here is the Turin Legato, and it is currently on our website for $499. And last but not least, we have the big one. It is the Capriccio, and it is on our website for $899. So I wanted to do a quick comparison. We see a lot of people say, why would I get this one? Why wouldn't I get that one? Why? Then this one costs more, and just seeing them all side by side and talking through the features to hopefully help you make an informed decision on your purchase if you were going to choose one of these. So we're just going to go kind of piece by piece on all of these and explain the differences, starting with the Sonata. So the Sonata, it is our smallest, least expensive machine, and the way that we're able to save some money on it is a thermoblock only. A lot of people say, what is a thermoblock? What's the difference? Like a boiler, thermoblock, isn't it the same thing? The way that I usually explain a thermoblock to someone is it's like a tankless water heater. When you turn it on, it preheats that coil inside the machine and it makes hot water pretty much instantly within a second or two. There are some disadvantages to that though. So the main disadvantage is, and you see this on a lot of the Breville machines as well, when you first turn this machine on, since there isn't a boiler in the front, you have this boiler, your portafilter does not naturally get hot. And when it doesn't get hot, you can be under extracting some of your shots and they can be a little bit sour. So typically with a machine like this, like when I'm gonna start it up, I'm actually gonna put a cup underneath and I'm just gonna run some hot water just through the group head, preheat that group head. It's really the only thing that you need to do is gonna preheat that whole group head and your portafilter, and it's going to prepare the machine for a shot. The steam is also thermoblock as well. So when you turn the steam on, it instantly has that steam pressure. Pretty much you turn it on and it's ready to use within seconds. So that is a huge pro of this machine. A lot of people, they want to wake up, run a little bit of water through your portafilter, grind your coffee, dose it, and then you're pretty much ready to pull that shot. There's no steam to heat up as well, so it's really fast, easy machine, space saving. A lot of people I've seen and talked to, they ended up buying something like this for their office because they can come in and they can be pulling a shot after lunch in just a few seconds. So very nice machine. Now we're going to compare that to the middle one here, the Legato. The difference between the Sonata and the Legato is the Legato actually has a small brew boiler. So when you turn this machine on, it's pretty much up to temperature within about 5 minutes. But at the same time, I usually let mine rest for at least 10 or so minutes just to let some of those temperatures balance. And it's also going to be preheating that portafilter. So I mentioned over here, you need to run some hot water through it. This one, after about 10 minutes, I mean, everything's gonna be hot and ready to go, which is really a fantastic feature. A lot of your E61 machines, you need to let maybe 30 to 40 minutes to get fully preheated. I tell most people you're ready to go in about less than 10 minutes with this machine. So again, a very fast machine to preheat and get going. Now the difference between these two and the steam, I call this kind of like a poor man's dual boiler. You don't get all the characteristics of being able to pull a shot and steam at the same time. You can only do one at a time, but you don't have to do the temperature surfing. So if you've looked up some of these other machines, like some of the Gajas, as soon as you're done pulling a shot and you switch to steam, you have to wait for the steam pressure to get hot enough to make steam. And then when you go back to pull another shot, you're constantly going up and down. So with this machine, we have the PID built in, and this PID is just for the brew boiler itself. But when you turn on the steam, it actually has a thermoblock similar to the Sonata. So it's actually a second small boiler, but it's, we'll let it go. There you go, there's your steam. So that's how fast, it has one of those instant water heater type coils in it. So it takes a few seconds to preheat, but once it starts coming out, I mean, your steam pressure's ready to go. So moving on to the Capriccio, this is our big one. A lot of people are like, why would I go with the big one? This one seems to maybe have some more features. Well, this machine is a dual boiler. So unlike these, this one has a thermoblock in it. This one has a boiler and a thermoblock. This actually has 2 boilers in it. So you have one dedicated boiler for the steam, one dedicated boiler for the brew. Now I mentioned this one has the programmable PID, and we'll go over that here in a minute. This one, it has, they all 3 have a PID in them. These outside 2 are non-adjustable. So it's set from the factory. It's just set for whatever they set it at. This one, you're actually able to go in and adjust your PID temperature for your brew boiler. So a lot of people, they think, man, this one doesn't have quite as many options, but you're getting that dual boiler. You're getting the ability to do easier back-to-back shots. It is not NSF rated in the United States. So a lot of people, they ask, can I use this in a small coffee shop? Because it looks kind of commercial. Well, over in like Asian countries, this is acceptable in their shops, but just with the way the United States laws are, it doesn't have the proper ratings to have the NSF rating for the United States. So that being said, it is a fully capable machine for a coffee shop. You just can't use it for one in the United States legally. But that should show you that this machine, it has quite a bit of power. It has a lot of steaming power. It's a just fantastic machine to use. So that's kind of the main differences between these 3. Thermoblock only, thermoblock and boiler, and dual boiler. That's really the main key differences on these machines. But I do want to point out some of the similarities and just some more just general discussion in general. So one thing that I find very, very cool is these machines, they run a 58 millimeter portafilter. And if you're familiar with the Breville lineup uses a lot of 54 millimeter on their less expensive machines. There's nothing wrong with 54 millimeter, but the majority of accessories, aftermarket baskets, and so on are 58. And the 58 is much easier for me personally to dose because I'm so accustomed to the 58 millimeter size. So all 3 of these, they use the same portafilter. It's a standard portafilter that you can buy pretty much anywhere. It's compatible. Like here's a Rocket portafilter. If I put this in the machine, it would fit. So you could buy Rocket, ECM. There's so many brands that use this style of portafilter that it's not a real big deal to find aftermarket accessories. So I think that's really awesome. All three of them utilize the same tank actually. So we have this 1.7 liter water reservoir that's removable from the back. And that's a pretty good size for a machine of this size. It's a pretty small stature on your countertop. You can see this is the same water tank on the Sonata. And in the Capriccio, even though you'd think it might be a little bit different, it actually uses the same water tank. So 1.7 liters, I don't really find myself filling this that often personally. So pretty decent size, pretty easy to maintain and get to. Drip trays on these 2 machines, they're pretty small. And that could be a problem for some people, especially if you choose on the Sonata to purge into your drip tray rather than a cup. I'd probably recommend to purge the water into a cup rather than your drip tray because it's going to fill up pretty quick. Your Capriccio has a very large drip tray and it can accommodate a fair amount of water. It is plumbable on the drip tray only. So it does come with a drain hose. If you wanted to drain that to a bucket or had some sort of a trap underneath your countertop and you could plumb it to that, you would never have to empty out your drip tray. But this is not a plumbable machine. It's a tank only machine. So again, really handy for like a coffee shop. Unfortunately, it's not NSF rated. Let's talk about controls now. So with the Sonata, it has a pre-programmable single shot. Really, it's not something that I prefer to use. I use the manual shot. You click the button, it turns on. You click the button again, it turns off. So it's pretty simple. Pretty similar with the Legato here in the middle. You can program a shot and you can also use the manual function as well. So I usually find myself using the manual function. On the Capriccio, you have a little bit of both. You have 2 individual shots. So maybe you have like a longer shot that you run and a shorter shot that you run. And then you also have the ability to do a manual shot as well, which again is kind of my preferred method. You'll notice all 3 of these have manometers on the front. On these 2 machines, it's a little bit different. One's down low, and, this one's up high. So this is kind of your preference on where they're at. I actually prefer them more up high personally because it's kind of hard to duck down and see. But if you have your machine dialed in well, you're not going to be watching that gauge very much. That is something that is brought up quite a bit. These are all 15 bar pumps, and we get asked about OPVs all the time. So as it is today, they do not have a built-in 9 bar OPV in them. The Turin Legato, I will say, is going to come up with a few new upgrades here with our next shipment. So all these have a pretty basic pre-infusion built into them. The Legato itself, you can somewhat adjust the pre-infusion, but it's only so adjustable. So with the new version, we're going to have it have a pre-infusion time as well as a pre-infusion pause, and then it's going to continue on to the full pressure shot. So that will be one upgrade that's coming to the Turin Legato here soon. They have just a very basic pre-infusion. It pre-wets the puck, it waits a second, and then it just goes full pressure. And while that's a good thing, is you're not going to get that shock to the puck. It's not going to crack. It's not going to cause channeling, hopefully, by pre-wetting the grounds. But if you want those additional long pre-infusions, which are less for the puck and more for flavor, the Legato should be getting that soon. And we're also going to be putting an OPV into this as well. So that's some really cool stuff coming to the Legato. One thing that I should have mentioned about the Legato is the PID. Since it is a small display, it is also a shot timer. And if you're not familiar, I should have explained this earlier. If you're not familiar with what a PID is, it's kind of like the thermostat on your house. So instead of it having a pressure diaphragm that goes back and forth to turn on and off your heating element, it actually has a temperature probe. So whatever temperature you set this to is the temperature that your boiler is going to be at. But they took this and they put a shot timer in as well. So when you start the machine, you'll see it start counting up as the shot goes. So that's a very nice feature to have. Unfortunately, this machine doesn't have it, but I really don't use them that much anyway. I usually use the shot timer on a scale if I'm going to use a scale. All three of these machines do have an eco mode. So if you let them rest for a while, they don't want to continue to consume energy, so they turn themselves off. You'll see this, it'll say eco. Similar with this, you'll see some lights flash. All you need to do to wake it up is just do anything with the machine. Hit a button, open the steam valve, it will wake the machine back up. Now, you're going to have some heat still built up in the machine, but it could still take about 5 minutes to build up that pressure again and get your machine running. So just know, if you're on the eco mode, that you may have to wait a few seconds if it's been quite a while since you pulled your previous shot. So I am going to do a quick demonstration on all three of these machines. We're not going to go too crazy, more just looking at like the steam capabilities and the shot capabilities. They do come stock with the double shot portafilter. So this one went into eco mode. We'll let it heat back up. And to pull a shot, it's as simple as hitting a button. Really easy to utilize. You can turn on your steam. And it's going to take a few seconds to build up the steam pressure and get that heated up, but generally within about 5 seconds. I usually do a preheat before I put it in my milk, but it takes a few seconds to heat. And then I'll turn it off and I will grab my milk and we will steam the milk. So while it has pretty good steam pressure, it's still not like just insane steam pressure like you might see in some of these more commercial machines. Typically takes me about 30 to 40 seconds to steam an average like cappuccino or latte. It does have enough steam power, but don't think it's going to be just loads of steam power. On the Legato, it's kind of the similar thing I showed you guys a minute ago. You can hit the button and it's going to have a pre-timed shot, or you can do the manual mode. And you can see the shot timer counting up right there. So really handy to have that. As for the steam, again, I recommend letting it run into the drip tray for a few seconds. Because it is going to have a little bit of water in that line that's not been heated. So you want to purge that water out and then turn it back off and steam your milk. So really fast and easy time. Okay, then last but not least, we have our Capriccio. I will note that it does not come with this bottomless portafilter that I have in it, It comes with this same spouted portafilter that are in both of these. I just have that one in that machine right now. So to pull a shot, you can use one of the two pre-programmed or the manual button. And it pulls a shot no problem. So you can see the 1 second pre-infusion delay and then pull in the shot. We have our steam. Lots of steam on this machine. Having that second steam boiler, you're going to steam much faster with this machine than you will with these others with the thermoblock. One thing that I should have mentioned earlier in this video that I just realized a few minutes ago that I left out is this one also has a hot water tap. So what's awesome about that, I'm so accustomed to having one now. Once you have it, you get used to it. If you want to clean out your portafilter, you can use it to clean out your portafilter. It is timed, so you can set the time on it. If you're going to do some Americanos or something like that, you can also top off your espresso to make like an Americano or some other drink. So that's it for these three machines. I hope that answers a lot of the questions that you may have about these three machines. We do get a lot of emails every day, and that's fine, but we just figured that a video like this might help you make an informed decision on which machine is right for you. At this time, into May, this one is sold out at the moment, but as I mentioned, it's going to look identical with a couple of upgrades coming relatively soon. At this moment, we have both of these in stock ready to go. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out or leave a comment below. Thanks.